Greetings, it's Tuesday, July 14th, and it's way too hot to be out here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but I'm bored. And I'm still waiting on the new chain, right, the new chain for this bike, so it's just sort of sitting here. In the meantime, in spite of the heat, and I'm sure it's in the high 90s right now, I've got the cooler blowing, you may hear it. Client brought over some brand new instruments, tack and speedo, and a battery. So I'm going to just go ahead and install these just because it'll keep me away from daytime TV. So I'm going to do that now. All right, same day. 320, and the instruments are mounted. And I spun each one of them up individually with a drill. So they went through the motions of working. And if the gearing between the sender and the instruments themselves are, oh, this one's stuck up there. Interesting, let's see if it comes down. Anyway, yep, they're installed. So I'm going to put the battery in now. I'm doing an electrical test and probably call it good. This is, I'll tell you all about that in a minute. Okay, the battery's installed. Let me give you a few hints. This is a wet cell, so I ran a drainage tube down under the center of the bike so it hangs down under the center of the bike, hopefully away from the mufflers, so that any acid that comes out of there will stay away from the chrome. If you put a small piece of tubing behind the nut on the terminals, it will hold the nut in place so that you can put the bolt in easier without having to worry about it. If you do that and then put just a dab of silicone on the top, it'll hold it in place even better. Then you can come in with a screwdriver or a 10mm wrench and tighten it down nicely and not have to worry about this guy spinning. And I did that on both sides. There's the tubing behind it, holding it in place, and a dab of silicone nut, just taka. Second, be sure to apply the ground wire last. Okay, install the power wire first, then install the ground wire, because if you do this first and you accidentally touch the screwdriver on the frame when you're installing the power side, you'll get sparks. So do this side, then that side, okay? Second, I always put a spare fuse on the bike. It's under this tape. It's a spare 10 amp fuse. If you have followed the directions in the owner's manual and put a 35 amp fuse in your bike, please take it out immediately. That thing will let the whole electrical system burn up before it'll blow. That 35 amp they're talking about is the Lucas 35 amp, and a Lucas 35 amp is actually a 17 amp, and these bikes will run just fine on a 15 amp, a 10 amp. They only barely draw 7 amps. So you can run a 15 amp or a 10 or a 15 amp safely in American 10 amp or American 15 amp. And you don't want an American 35 amp fuse in there. So if you have a nice American 35 amp fuse in there, take it out as soon as possible, replace it with a 10 amp fuse. Speaking of this, I said give people a spare 10 amp fuse. It's pretty much worthless, because the first thing you're going to do, if you blow a fuse, you're on the side of the road and you blow a fuse, the first thing you're going to do is take the spare, put it in there, and you're going to blow that one. Because you didn't find the reason it blew, you just put in the spare and pow, there it goes. Now you still have the problem and you don't have a fuse. So truthfully, if you want to carry a spare fuse, carry fuses. Buy yourself a box of 5 or 6, a plastic box that has 5 or 6 10 amp fuses in it, and tape it here, and you'll have plenty of fuses should you ever need them while you're on the side of the road somewhere. Okay, the last thing is I told you I'd tell you what this is for. You're always curious about how close to the underside of the seat these batteries are. If you take a wet paper towel, put it into a small ball, and then close the lid, dunk, 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 and then lift it up, you can see that you've got about this much, in this case, clearance. So you've got lots of clearance. And if you want, you can leave this sitting overnight and it'll be dry as a bone, but it'll be right about that tall, which means you are clearing the battery nicely. If you put in an extra tall battery and then you hit a bump, these can short out across the terminals and pop the fuse. So be careful when you change batteries for sizes other than what's necessary. When I put this battery in, I made rubber padding here, rubber padding here, rubber padding here, rubber padding here, and I put that in place on the sides of the battery with a tad bit of silicone on it so that it's glued to the battery case, not the battery itself. So this guy's in here really tight. This crossover is simply a piece of black ABS that I bent to shape and notched out to fit the bolts, and it holds it down very nicely. So I'll leave this laying here overnight just for the heck of it, but basically I'm done for the day. And I'm going to call it quits because it's 4 o'clock now, and it's hot and I'm tired. I think I might try to start this thing tomorrow, see if I can do it myself.